Joining us now is Bill Kristol, editor of the Weekly Standard, ABC News contributor. And you were there, Bill, at the debate. Welcome aboard, sir.
You a contributor to the Christie campaign?
Yeah,
too?
right.
Wow,
Big contributor.
That was an impressive montage. They should put that on the air. The Bush and Kasich.
Absolutely, they
people.
should.
That was impressive. I gotta say, you should. Have you thought about going into opposition research or making ads for? There's good money in that. You know,
I got more on him. I got him telling. I got him telling me that the Ground Zero Mosque at the time. I have no opinion. I shouldn't have an opinion on that. Anyway, I want to get you were part of the debate, part of the ABC News coverage. Great job. Let me ask you about the Rubio-Christie exchange. Was that kind of what you consider to be the a Rick Perry moment for Rubio, or no?
I think not, but I think it probably did some damage, and I wouldn't be surprised if it stopped his momentum in New Hampshire, and he might end up third or fourth instead of the second he looked like he was heading towards. But look, Rick Perry's thing fit into a narrative that had plenty of other evidence. Unfortunately, I like Rick Perry, but then at that point he wasn't, he was on the back medicine, and he just hadn't really studied up to be president. Rubio knows foreign policy and is a smart guy, and so I think Rubio could overcome it, but I also don't think there's no damage. I think your point, though, Christie did not help himself. He may have done with Rubio, but my sense from talking to people in New Hampshire, and obviously take this with many grains of salt, you just talk to a few people at the end of the day, small, very tiny percentage of the voters, but my sense is they weren't inclined to go to Christie. I think Kasich and Bush will probably outperform the polls a little bit. Cruz may do better than people think. There are more conservatives in New Hampshire than people think. Those three with Rubio, those four will all be bunched, I suspect, in the teens. I think Trump will come down a little. I don't think he'll do quite as well as he's doing in the polls, but I still think he'll probably win.
Who is the most conservative, do you believe, out of Christie, Bush, Kasich, and Rubio?
I think Rubio. I think on constitutional issues, on the life issue, on fighting Obamacare, I'm pretty unequivocally Rubio. For me, someone like me who's a conservative, I like Rubio. I like and respect Ted Cruz. That's kind of where my choice is. But I also think Rubio's competing in New Hampshire, especially. There are a lot of moderate Republicans, more than in most states, and there are all these unaffiliated, I think it's called up there, but really independent voters who can vote in either primary, and they can become 25-30% of the Republican primary electorate. That's why I think there is a Kasich and Bush vote in New Hampshire of a kind there won't be in most of the states.
So who do you think is going to be the last people standing coming out of New Hampshire? Is anybody going to drop out after New Hampshire?
I think the main effect of stalling Rubio's momentum, assuming it did, and again, these things are notoriously hard to predict. Voters see debates.
Yeah, Bill, just so you know, he hasn't lost anything in the polls that have come out today.
He could be fine. But I'd say if his momentum stalls some, if he doesn't get a clean second, I think almost everyone stays in. I think if Christie's at 5-6%, he gets out. I think the money's dried up, and he's not going to do any better in South Carolina. Jeb Bush, if he gets 11 or 12, figures me, I'll take one more shot in South Carolina. Ben Carson, I've spoken briefly. He's certainly, I think, going to stay in through South Carolina, probably through March 1st. Carly Fiorina feels like, hey, if they would let me on the debate stage, she may actually do as well as Christie. I think she might stay in again. There's a debate just Saturday night. So I don't think this field is narrowing as quickly as some people wanted to. I myself don't worry about that. You know what? Let the voters of more than one or two states see these people, make their decision. It's not the end of the world. It's proportional representation at this point. It honestly doesn't matter that much in delegates.
Right.
The political class seems to have this huge investment that we got to get this down to 2 or 3. We got to get it down to 2 or 3. Let them fight. Let them argue.
Did you have any Trump, who was going to win New Hampshire most likely? Did you talk to him at all?
Yes, I did.
Now you've met him before, or this was the first time?
Just once or twice. I've met him a few times.
Okay, so how did this conversation go, Bill?
It was comical. I mean, he's a very talented guy at this kind of thing, a good schmoozer, as we say in the New York metropolitan area, and he saw me. He was up there doing the thing with Stephanopoulos, and he had walked past me sort of as I was getting ready there, to come up after him for the round table. But then when he came down, it was like he saw me, and it was a lot of gestures and funny, like pretending to shoot me, and then he came over, clapped me on the back. Hey, you've been tough on me, Kristol, but you'll come around. I can do a good job for this country. I admire you guys. Do a good job there at that magazine. It's like very New York, very backslapping, quite engaging. You know what I mean? I told him, I said afterwards to someone, boy, you can see there'd be a fun guy to spend an evening with. I still don't think he should be president of the United States, but he's a good natural politician. The irony is he's probably a better natural politician than all the politicians.
But he didn't win you over politically. Let me ask you, assuming he wins New Hampshire and South Carolina, you see him spending $40, $50, $100 million, whatever it takes, like he says he will?
Yeah, if he wins, I think if he has a real chance to win the nomination, he'll do it. I think the question is if he falters some, does he stay in the way a Cruz or a Rubio or a Kasich or a Bush would, because they're professional politicians? And maybe the answer to that is no, but, I've given up trying to predict Donald Trump, and he certainly, he had a good debate. I mean, no one really attacked him except for Bush on eminent domain, and he kind of sailed through it, and he kind of has his own weird, the people judge him by different standards. So answers that I would have thought were pretty lame, like on his
got to go, my friend. Great to talk to you. Thank you very much.
Good
Bill
talking to you,
Kristol,
Steve.
ladies and gentlemen.